Hello, and welcome to FMK Anime. I'm your host, Meep, joined by my co-hosts, Gilly and Dalaron. Say hi, you two.
Hello! As always, Dalaran, you can catch us streaming at Dalaran Quest over on Twitch and TV. It's good to see you guys. I'm excited. We're coming up to the precipice, yo.
The Prembipus.
That is my new nickname. I'm changing my channel name to Prembrbrs right now.
Mm. And
As
I'm
usual,
Gilly.
big thank you to Team Force.
Hold on, let Keely say hi.
Yeah,
I said
sorry.
everything I needed to say.
My mind just turned off.
I said all I needed to say.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a bully.
No bully. Anyway, me,
I'm just gonna go
take us away.
drink away my sorrows.
As we all do.
Where's my
no.
Everclear?
We, as usual, big thank you to Team 4-Star. And what the FMK is we start with a list of shows each week, and at the end of the week, we can count one show. Sometimes shows die, sometimes they live. We decide bloody knife and this throbbing eggplant. This week, we are almost done with our winter season. Peek behind the veil, our spring season has been chosen. We will keep you posted at the end of our award ceremony, where we'll announce what shows we have for next season. As always, you can find us here, and I believe we should just swing right on into it.
Let's go.
With Jujutsu Kaisen Episode 24, the finale. Nobara and Itadori continue battle with the two brothers and eventually defeat them, but a third one remains elsewhere, probably playing the game of life with Mahito. Sukuna forces Itadori to eat his finger, all while Gojo is searching for the traitor, and Todo and Mei recommend Maki, Panda, and the first years as first grade sorcerers. A lot happened this episode.
This episode
And
was fucking incredible. I don't know if it's like the best Jujutsu Kaisen episode, but it is definitely the hypest one.
it's hard to beat episode 12 for me, but I fucking love this episode. The
I don't know.
use of powers, the characters, everything.
I don't know, man. This
I
episode's insane. Go
I
ahead, Gilly.
think this I think this is the best Jujutsu Kaisen episode, and I really loved everything about this. There was
Nobara. Nobara was
so
incredible.
actually getting Nobara to come in here and fight and really show herself off was so much fun.
It's just
the, her way of fighting doesn't her way of fighting is fun, and it's just enjoyable, and it is terrifying, and she's terrifying, and they're all terrifying.
Yeah.
with Fushiguro as well, Meep, you talked about it last week, how Fushigiro's facial expressions have shifted and changed, like, to be more, like, sadistic looking. Like, we got to see that with Nobara. Like, I think they're really starting to hammer home that, like, Jujutsu sorcerers aren't inherently good people. The job is bloody and merciless and dark and hard to do. And the amount of just facial expressions we got from Nobara in specific, but everyone, like, this episode, it looked amazing. The fights were spot on. Nothing looked bad, in my opinion. The way that the older brother, the JoJo villain ass motherfucker, the way his face like twitched and changed little by little bit, when his quote unquote younger brother died, like it, fucking hell. The fights themselves were incredible. The music, oh.
Yeah, there was so much comedy also spot on in this episode. Like uh the game of like the show does a lot of subtle background comedy. Like they don't bring actual attention to it. Like playing the game of life. That was fucking great.
They were playing life, weren't they?
Get it? It's ironic because the curses really aren't alive.
I don't know why I love the fact that every time we see our villains, they're doing something so leisurely and casual most of the time.
For real.
Every time we see our villains and they're not like in a fight, they're just like lounging on a beach in beach wear or playing a board game or doing something stupid. I'm just waiting for the time we're gonna come in and they're just sitting there playing video games.
I like how fucking Mahito's the child, right?
Yeah,
Fucking like
but that's
older
that has to
brother.
do with but that has so much to do with the fact that he is, as they talk, like a young curse,
Mm-hmm. They
and
fucking
they really hammer it home with like when they're a young curse, it's not just like young in terms of when they were created; it's young in terms of how they act, their age.
it's absolutely
And I
true.
enjoy that.
No, don't break the peace. We can
Exactly.
have another one.
Dude's brother dies and he's like, "No, don't break the peace." But he's less like childish and he's more just like immature. Like his emotions are very impulse and emotion driven. Like his not his emotions, his reactions and actions are very impulse and emotion driven. Like he's not like, "No, don't break the peace." He's just his brother died and he's more upset about like a piece of a game that probably was a pain in the ass for him to get being broken.
What the
Yeah.
fuck, bruh?
Bro, oh, I had to save up so much of my allowance to get that. What are you doing? That was a Kickstarter exclusive.
God
Kickstarter
damn it.
exclusive for the Game of Life 2, a board game that actually exists, and it frustrates me that it does.
Also, is it bad that I was kind of wanting that tattoo that Nobara had after getting hit by the blood? I wanted it to be permanent because, god damn, she looks glowed up with that tattoo. I love it.
That's pretty cool. Like these rose petals, these like inky, kind of like uncanny rose petals. I really like the effect that when he released the technique, how like it did turn into rose petals. Like I assume it's actually blood, but like the way it flew off of them when he deactivated it, so good.
There was a lot of
I've
I like I so I actually thought with the previous I don't know what it was with these last two episodes, but the animation of these last two episodes has been just really, really good.
Right?
It has been like
oh,
a ridiculously it has been this ridiculous jump that they've done.
This fight looked
oh, sorry.
so much better than the fight with Hanami up on the rooftops, and
Like
even better than in the field with
this
Hanami.
this fight and the Fushiguro fight, just something about how they went about doing it. It's so much more detailed, it's so much more fluid, and it just looks so good. And this fight wasn't even that like as involved as the last one, and it was still really, really good.
I believe in Mappa supremacy. If you don't know, Mappa is the studio that makes Jujutsu Kaisen.
Mm. Telephones off, please. Yeah, no, the fights, yeah, like I said, this looked like leagues beyond better, and like the angles, the cinematography, the angles they shot in, the amount of just expressions and fluid animation, just the dynamic action that occurred, like Nobara's constantly winding up. First of all, Nobara's a bad bitch. I like don't fuck with her because she will. Yo, like Nobara was borderline scary for me this episode, and it is great to see her strength fully come into view. We have been long overdue to get a focus on what she can do and how she does it. So I am just delighted to finally see her be the focus of an action of a fight and just kick so much ass.
Now, now one thing for me that was now I might I might have just caught this incorrectly because I couldn't tell with the scene, and I tried rewatching and I still couldn't tell. But it seems to me like the insinuation is that, as well as Itadori looks like Nobara also had her own Black Flash.
Yeah, she got a Black Flash.
Like it was hard. I had to rewatch it a few times, and that's what it comes off as for me. But it kind of I couldn't tell at first.
Yeah, because they have the two of them standing next to one doing the Black Flash energy.
Yeah, I was kind of confused about it at first, but the way that I'm reading into that is, yeah, Nobara actually had her Black Flash moment, which, as they said, is like that. It's that marker of a Jujutsu sorcerer hitting the next stage of their evolution, like
Oh, yeah.
as a sorcerer.
I've already. Have either of you two seen the meme? It's like the Backstreet Boys meme where they're like they find out who the criminal is by making them sing Backstreet Boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from Brooklyn Nine-Nine or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I saw that, but that was with this episode, and it was the curse guy, like the one who broke the peace, and Mahito,
Oh,
and it
you're
was
rubbing it.
like, and when it got to I said it was that, but it was with the characters from Jujutsu Kaisen. The cop was Mahito, and the person that's trying to find the person that killed his brother was obviously the older brother curse. And they did the whole Backstreet Boys thing, and it was funny because it got to Itadori. It was like, and after he did the singing, and mine was like, oh, chills, literal chills. That was him, my brother. Oh my god, I forgot about that part.
Oh man, the internet works fast, man.
One thing that was interesting to me was I was a I think it was just poor phrasing, but it felt like Itadori was sitting here blaming himself for killing both of them when it was 100% Nobara on the creepy one.
I think Itadori just sees it as their fight, and he doesn't really like. Oh, I killed this one. You killed that one. Like it's like no, we both killed these two.
I like how Nobra explained her and Itadori's friendship. It's like, then there's just some people that pull out their own chair and sit in my life. Like you.
I, I I actually really loved that description though. Just like, yeah, you came in here, you didn't give me a chance to decide if you could be here. You brought your own chair and said, "I'm here now."
Yeah, but at the same time, she's saying that like he's a part of her heart. Like she has a place
Yeah.
in her heart.
No, it's it is really
Yeah, no,
sweet, and
it's
at the
really
same
sweet.
time, she's not like the way she's smiling and kind of like lightly laughing as she says it. She's not upset about the way that's how he went about it. She's not upset that he came in and just said, "Well, I'm here now."
I think that was a really good scene and necessary too. Because while the fight was by far the most hype of this season, uh, I was like, I don't think this is the best episode. I think this is just the hypest episode. And then I was thinking that during the fight, and then afterwards, I was really glad there was that scene because I needed to see character growth and character development. We got some really, really good Nobara. I think this is our first time getting an honest like Itadori's Itadori. He's the protagonist. He's our main character. We've kind of gotten a feel for him right away. Fushiguro, in the first half of this 3 episode series, we kind of see him kind of really be himself in the first 2 episodes, and in this episode, we see Nobara really open up and be herself. And she's hard, my dude. She's fucking hard and cold sometimes. She's just like, yeah, I kill people. They don't matter to me. Like they don't have a place in my life. And Itadori on the opposite end is like, no, that guy shed tears for his dead brother. Like I killed, like tears were shed for someone that I killed, and that just doesn't sit right with me. And it's just great to see these 3 people on a team together.
The fucking look Nobra had on her face when she put the nail in her arm. I. That's the kind of person that you have to be a very particular kind of person to handle.
Yeah, yo, she did not hesitate. The moment
Nobara
she
will not.
found out,
Nobara will not hesitate to end a bitch.
seriously, the moment she found out that the technique uses their blood mixed into hers, and she's like, "Oh, bet," stabs herself in the arm 3 times. Sorry, not stabs herself. Impales her arm with a nail 3
What
times.
you gonna do now, bitch?
I didn't know Hori was in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Ha! I get it.
Oh.
Also, I just want to bring attention to what was posted in Mei's. The villains in Jujutsu Kaisen all do look very cute. I point to the squid
Yeah,
curse.
I look. I put that in the public Discord server so people could see it too. The fact that all the villains, except for like Mahito's fights, they all look so. Especially our big villains, they're just like casual and relaxed a lot of the time. They look nicer than our heroes.
Honestly, yeah, like Nobara and Fushiguro have been having some very villainous angles this arc.
Well, these last 2 episodes, yeah. 2 episodes, they look just downright terrifying.
Fushigiro's insanity, Itadori's rage, Nobara's sadism.
To be fair, that Jogo and Hanami was taken from a Jujutsu scroll.
It is, although at the same time they could have. There's images from them on that beach that are
Yeah,
not from the stroll that are just as casual as that,
yeah, fair.
or when they're just chilling in a hot spring. That happened. It's. I actually think that's really. I actually find that really interesting myself. Is that a lot of the time when we peer into what our villains are doing, they're just relaxing. They're not
Chilling, relaxing,
like
acting all cool.
the only one that's ever like really stressing about anything is Jogo.
I mean, he's just a hothead. Haha.
He's the only one that's ever really stressing though. The rest of them are just like the rest of them are just like chilling. Just big chillin'.
I miss Junpei.
He's dead, or maybe not. We don't know. He might come back.
There, there's no way you're holding on hope for that. He's fucking dead, accept it. There's no fucking way.
You don't know what the show will do. Show's crazy.
I am pretty sure that he's dead.
He's coming back as a force ghost.
No.
Itadori, you must go to the Dagobah system.
Run to Dagobah. Run to Dagobah.
So, speaking of Itadori, he has another finger inside him now.
Yeah, what? Oh, that was funny. That was legitimately funny. I was like, guy, he's talking to me like I'm a fucking dog with no intelligence, and he just reaches for the finger, and his hand goes, "How?"
It's not like he did that.
I know, which is why Fushiguro isn't mad at him, but like, just a ham.
Just
for a second there,
fucking Sukuna hasn't done anything in so long, and the first thing he does when he finally comes back is, fingies.
He was talking mad shit.
For a second there, I thought Fushiguro was saying it in that way to Itadori to be like, no, eat this. I am saying this because I am legally supposed to tell you to not to, but I still want you to eat this anyways. I thought he was doing that.
So
if this was a court of law, Itadori, I would tell you no. Now eat the fingy. No, he was definitely telling him not to eat it, but then Sukuna's just like, there it is.
I kind of get where Meep is coming from with that, because I got the same read when from like the first time Fushiguro said that, but then like every moment afterwards I was like, no, he like we don't know how many fingers you can handle, you might die. Also, Itadori did have another stroke after eating the fingy, but he recovered so quickly from it.
He recovered really quickly, but that was a whole thing. He had the finger, and then you saw Sukuna like surface, well, not fully surface, but start to like show on his body
Mm-hmm.
before he just pushed that back down. Like, oh, there we go.
And then Sukuna proceeded to talk mad shit afterwards. I actually really, yo, this episode. I mean, I found the assistant director to be a little blasé. It's sad to see her just amount to nothing in the end. But other than that, every single scene in this episode, maybe not the truck drivers. The truck drivers felt a little undercut. But
I
like,
felt bad for them. They just were
yeah,
trying to. They were just driving through this mountain pass.
they're like, we're gonna go at night. There's no one gonna be there. It's safer, no car accidents, and we'll get there quicker. Oh, they're dead. One of them is definitely dead.
Yeah.
I Yeah, no, that scene with like Nobara and Fushiguro, and they're like, yeah, no, don't tell Itadori this. Then Sukuna tells him it, and he's like, don't tell Fushiguro that. I
Yeah,
actually like that character development because at the start, I think Itadori may have broken a bit from that, but this time he's like, no, I've made peace with this.
I don't think he's made peace with it the way he was talking about it with Nobara. I just think he's accepting that this is something that he's gonna have to do from here on out. Like this is a requirement of the job, and to he's gonna try to save people, but he also realizes that some of the people he saves might be a mistake. I think like the second half of this season, this second whatever you want to call it, kind of showed this overall. You saw this in the tournament arc where there are a lot of people who were like, "This is what I believe in," and whether or not it's right, it's what I believe in, and that's what I'm gonna do. And that was like for everyone: Archerboy, Fushiguro, Nobara, Itadori, Todo, Maki, Mai,
And that's
Mekamaru,
my
Panda.
ninja way.
Datebayo! Ooh, Sukuno-sama,
Fucking,
datebayo.
I fucking love Gojo calling the one lady on her day off.
She looks good.
Okay, so yeah, seeing her the so obviously the her dress before was very interesting. The whole, I don't even know what the very traditional garb was very interesting. But seeing her on her like just casual, really nice, really nice.
Yeah, then we see him. Then we see that Gojo is fucking loaded as he pays the one girl to find out who the traitor is. Which was it a shonen anime and having traitors within the school?
I mean, it makes sense.
Makes sense. It's just I feel like it's in every shonen.
But yeah, speaking of that, how do you feel about Gojo? I don't know, either he makes a lot of money from something or he comes from a rich family.
I mean, he's the most powerful Jujutsu sorcerer. I imagine he's getting paid.
Yeah.
You're getting paid. He's getting paid well, so he doesn't go rogue.
The principal has to keep him flush so he doesn't like cause issues.
I mean, that does bring
Is,
up the question,
is
right? Who do we think's the
Miwa a gold digger? Is that how she wants Gojo?
one more time?
I said, is Miwa a gold digger? Is that why she wants Gojo so bad?
Oh, fuck off.
No.
Oh, I'm making a joke. I don't actually think that.
No. Ruckdug in chat is right. Gojo and Nanami are rigging the stock market with their insider trader information.
the, they won stocks on the game of life, specifically the pieces.
What if Gojo is just like a gigolo?
That would be very
And he probably
odd.
gets
That would be very odd. All I gotta say about that.
Why?
that, that did remind that does remind me of a line that I loved. Is Gojo just winging this? You're just now realizing that?
Yeah, you're realizing that. Yeah, you're realizing this only now. Yeah. It was good. It was funny. It was.
Oh, he
Man,
always does
this
things.
episode is so good.
We saw Toto and Crow Lady
May May.
recommending this for first grade.
Yeah.
I think like as far as like season
I thought that-
finales go for like a shonen, especially for a shonen, that's like setting up. This show knows it's successful. This show's seeing all of its hype. The studio creating it knows what they're doing. They realize that they struck gold with this, and this is such a good way to set up a to be continued, because you have the villains. I did not expect the true. I know I'm the one who was always complaining about, you know, villains not staying dead in this show, but like I really did not expect those two brothers to be dead, because the whole setup of you know, you live for him, he lives for me, and I live for you. And like I'm like, all right, cool. So now we have this like whole secondary faction in the curses, and like, all right, cool. We're here. And when they're like dead, I was like, oh, okay. And now there's just the one brother.
This was the first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this is the first time our heroes have actually gotten a win, because the detention center technically wasn't a win because Itadori died. The Mahito arc. Okay, the Mahito arc was a lose-lose, because Mahito didn't get what he wanted, and Itadori didn't get what he wanted, because, Junpei is fucking dead.
Is he
The
though?
Kyoto arc.
The silent rage behind
Yes,
Miss
the
Mike.
I will show you the wiki status if you keep this up. Anyways, the
Denial is stronger than
and then
any
there was
fact,
the
Steve.
tournament arc. Then there was the tournament arc, which technically was a loss for our heroes, because they got the villains got the fingies and the wounds.
I hated that.
What, Dal? You don't like going to KFC and getting Kentucky Fried Fingers and your wound salad?
Now that
No,
is,
no.
yeah, thinking about that, I do have to. I wanted to make a fucking comment on that, where these cursed where the cursed womb paintings came from. That was
Oh,
fucked
yeah.
up. That was
Yeah.
some fucked up backstory.
Yeah.
Just like that, one of the most reviled sorcerers in history captured this woman and impregnated her with impregnated her with other cursed
Okay,
spirits
so
9 times.
And in case it needs to be spelled out for anyone, he took this woman into shelter, like pretending to give her like refuge, and then just raped her until she became pregnant 9 times, trying to infuse curse energy into her. It's fucked up. Also explains why these cursed creatures exist. These creatures literally formed of malcontent. Also, I was really surprised when they said he was the most reviled sorcerer, because I thought that was Sukuna.
yeah, for a second there, I thought they were saying it was Ghetto, but then they're like, no, it's in the Meijing era. Ghetto wouldn't have been alive.
I was ready for it to be Geto. I thought this is where finally getting a setup for Geto, and then they never showed his face, but he didn't really look like Geto either. So
It was in the Meijing era, so it couldn't have been Ghetto.
I mean, listen, if you can move buildings with a swing of your hand, I'm pretty sure you can work out a way to live longer.
Has he moved buildings with the swing of his hand?
Okay, if you can corrupt people, if you can summon demons, usually an extended lifespan comes along with that.
It could just be his curse technique.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, if his curse technique is controlling curses, I don't see how that increases lifespan. Unless he's just Orochimaruing himself into other cursed bodies.
Eating the curses, yum yum yum.
Eat the fingies. Nah, KFC chicken thingies. That's in a different episode. We'll talk about that sooner than later. Oh, actually, well, anyway, am I the only one that feels like Ghetto looks like he's from a different show?
Kind of.
It might just be similar character design, but Meep will get this. I feel like he's from Golden Kamuy, specifically Asheripa's uncle. Oh, Meep's dead. We'll come back to him. But yeah, but yeah. What I was saying before is that
Look,
this go ahead, Gilly.
I did make the comment last episode that Esso, one of the cursed womb spirits, looked like a fucking JoJo's character.
He really fucking did.
And they did not make it any better with how over the top he was in this episode.
When he
Like
was
it wasn't any better. He is quite JoJo-esque.
I feel like they toned him down in this episode. They made him more clever. Sure, he's still dramatic, but I mean, look at him. Look at him. Of course, he's dramatic, but he's still
Dramatic bitch.
Yep. I was surprised that his back face didn't come into play more after the reveal. Like, was that like a direct JoJo reference or what?
I'm honestly I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure what that was about.
I mean, at the end of the day, it could have just been a character trait where they're like, I don't like people looking at my back, it's ugly, look at me, I'm so pretty in my front, and then I get really upset if you look at my back. But, you know, a show like this, when they set something up with so much emotion behind it, you just expect there to be a bit more. But I'm not disappointed by the fight.
Seeing as they killed him, I think it might have just been a quirk.
Yes, they killed him dead.
Seeing as he's already dead, I'm pretty sure it was just some sort of quirk in his character.
So, Meep, you back? Don't forget your push to talk. Oh, he might not be back yet.
He's still dead.
Still dead. He's dead, Jim. Anyway, man, this episode did everything right. Their cute little shopping after scene. I was a little mad. I'm like, Itadori, make Fushiguro carry some of the bags. But no, bro, just being.
I have a feel like he probably tried. He just said no. That seems like a Fushiguro thing to do. Just look at him and look him up and down and just shake his head, keep walking.
Yeah, you know what? You's right.
Fushigiro's great. That doesn't mean he's always the nicest.
I think no. If you remember from the very beginning, he's kind of an asshole. Because
A little
he's
bit,
like,
yeah.
why is he here? Oh, we're roommates now. Exactly. Why is he here?
But that's just their dynamic now. It's not mean-hearted. It's just how he is with him.
How does
Although, I have to bring that up. That that very quick flash of Fushiguro pulling up his collar and like turning red from embarrassment, I loved that. That was so good.
Wait, when did Fushiguro get embarrassed again? Sorry, I just got back.
Yeah.
When Nobara was like fucking starting to beat up Itadori and making a scene. I love that little scene of him just like pulling his collar up and that slight flash of like red of embarrassment before he gets the phone call. I really, really liked that.
What was the last thing you guys heard me say?
It's been a hot minute, homie.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Discord made me force an update. I was just gonna say, I love how explaining your technique, making it more effective, is this show's way of having people put out exposition but making it actually make sense.
Is that what it was? I thought basically he was eating up time. Like,
Well, no, he did specifically say, now that I've explained my technique, it will be all the stronger.
Yeah,
Which I didn't actually
Nanami
understand the reasoning behind that fucking word, why that was, but it's what he said.
Nanami. Okay, so remember in the first core when Nanami said you make a pact whenever you explain your technique and it becomes more effective? Because Nanami has done it, Hanami has done it, Toto has done it. Like
mm,
it's been very prevalent throughout the entire season, or yeah, season. Like in episode like 7 or 8, Nanami like put it was essentially when the author confirmed that yeah, techniques are more effective when you explain it. That is going to be my way of having people explain their techniques for viewers' pleasure.
I mean, fair enough. I read that and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I thought he meant that he was. I thought he was being clever. I thought he was taking up time by explaining his technique, and they were already on a time limit because of his technique. Uh, so I thought that was him just being super clever. But fuck it, it's a little ham-fisted, but I don't mind it at all.
Remember when Toto and Itadori were fighting Hanami and Hanami explained his technique and he's like, now according to Mahito, this makes my technique more effective.
Now take my giant galactic flower laser.
Yeah, I like Toto. He's a good boy.
I love we got one little flash of Toto, and it was just as good as every other moment.
My
Yep.
brother
And
Itadori
my
Yuichi
brother, yeah, I
Yuichi
fucking love
Itadori.
that.
We also got a flash of the second years too, I believe. Or am I remembering?
Not a flash. They were training together, saying like they can't be outdone by the first
The
years.
first year. They took out 3 special grades.
Yeah, every first year is now all the first years have taken out the has taken out a special grade now, and that is honestly very impressive. Just because we finally have a better scope of how strong Fushiguro and Nobara got during their training. Because I don't I
Exactly.
don't I don't think the tournament arc really did enough justice for, especially Fushiguro. They didn't do enough justice for either of them for
Yeah,
how much they'd been training and how strong they'd gotten, and actually getting
that's
back into the field and hunting actual cursed spirits was what we needed to see.
yeah. We can touch on it more in the retrospective, but Fushiguro, out of everyone, did get a little shafted during the tournament arc, but he and Maki got an amazing fight with Hanami. I still think that might be one of my favorite fights.
Mm.
It's a great fight. It's just he has gotten like really screwed over in terms of just showing off his real abilities until
Uh,
now.
then he got domain expansion.
Like
Yeah.
Gojo said, this year's first years are the cream of the crop.
Ah, cream of the crop.
But everyone, are we ready for cards?
Um, yeah, just, sure. How about you, Gilly?
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'll go first if y'all want. I'm fucking this episode. What a finale. Like, what a finale. I didn't realize this was the last episode. I thought we had one more after this until, like, we had this incredible fight, and I'm like, alright, cool. So, like, we're gonna get just one episode of them hanging out. But this episode hit every beat it needed to. It's set up for future seasons immaculately. I love it. Huge, throbbing, very enthusiastic eggplant for Jujutsu Kaisen. Well done. You have back to back. If you call yourself a one season, I consider you 2 seasons, but both halves of whatever we watched through autumn and spring, not spring, autumn and winter, have been bang on, and this is a you've solidified yourself as a new shonen that everyone should watch. One of the big three, one of the new big three, and it's been a delight watching you.
Jujutsu Kaisen has officially overtaken My Hero's place in my heart. I love My Hero, but I love so many things about Jujutsu Kaisen more. The characters, everything, like the fights, like the comedy especially. The show does comedy and action in such a wonderful mix. I absolutely love the show, and I am sad to see it gone. But at the same time, every good thing has an ending, and cannot wait until I can't wait until the movie next year.
Yee. Did Jujutsu Season 2 get announced yet?
Not yet, but it's probably going to happen either a year after the movie or a season after the movie.
That's a pity. I didn't know it would take a whole year hiatus, but hey, you know what? Good things, take time.
I mean, that's how other seasonal shonen do it. Like My Hero has a year in between seasons.
Oh yeah? Okay, I just remember My Hero coming out like with a fuckload of episodes one year.
Well, yeah, it's because My Hero went from having 12 episode seasons to 24 episode seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about it. Jujutsu has been half a year for us.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Gilly, how about you?
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna fuck this show. It's a good show, and this was for me, this is the best episode.
I
I've
think so
enjoyed
too.
this far more than anything else with this show because of just what it did with its characters, what it did with all of them.
This episode was just stunning. I'm playing back the scenes and just how amazing it looked. The music was fantastic. Surprised me if you're not gushing about that. And it hit every story beat.
Wait until the award ceremony.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, this is my nomination for like best episode of Jujutsu Kaisen period, but also like one of the best episodes this season.
Sure thing. I think that's a de facto nomination for this as one of the best episodes then.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
This one and Maki versus Mai's episode, I think at least those would be my two nominations, just because Maki versus Mai was such a good episode with the Nobara versus Little Witch and showing off Maki.
Mhm. Mm. I think the only thing I'm missing from this season is seeing Nobara's training a little bit more in detail and seeing Fushigiro's training with Gojo a little bit more in detail. Like that's the if I have to find something that I didn't get enough of, that well, you know what, this is retrospective stuff, so we'll talk about this next week.
My
I think
one
that's
thing
just the show's pacing.
one thing I want to say is you talk about Nobara's training. She trained with Panda. We saw how Panda trains. She probably was just getting fucking thrown across a room
He did
15 times.
he
Yeah.
did Salon Gay Bowser her a few times.
So, like she trained with Panda, and I just had a strong feeling that her training was just getting thrown around like a fucking rag doll.
Haha, I get it.
Yeah.
Ragdoll, voodoo doll, I get it. Haha.
This show's
Haha.
pacing
That's
is
not what I was
amazing.
doing, but I'll take credit for it.
I I think legitimately this is the best paced show, if not best paced shonen I've ever seen. Yeah, let's move on to Skate to Infinity, episode 11. Reki is invited to and accepts the beef with Adam, while Redhead Lady plots in the background. Reki, using rain wheels, goes up against Adam and even makes Adam slip in the rain. Reki almost wins, but Adam pulls ahead, and Snake forfeits his match with Longa. Mia lost just so Snake could forfeit.
So, two things.
That
Shake my head.
that's gotta hurt Miwa.
Yeah, two things. One, incredible episode, so good. Two, shite fucking ending. Total cop out fucking ending. We did not need a recap episode. We could have had Snake v Lanka.
I have to agree with you. Like the rest of the episode, I really enjoyed, but at the same time, that fucking cop out, I hated the Snake and Adam plotline for the most part because I feel like we could have just not had that and had a lot of other stuff happen that would have just been more interesting.
My issue with Snake is that out of for a show that does characters very very well, this show is driven by its characters and like dynamic, action packed, like wondrous spectacle. There we go, spectacle skating. Um, but for a show that does characters so well, Snake is like he's a non-character. He is so painfully a non-character. And I get that comes with being the timid, quiet, reserved, kind of servant person that he is. But man, do I wish we got more out of him. And like the one thing that makes him interesting, because I talked about this last week. I don't care about the Snake Adam plotline. I like the flashbacks. I want to talk about young, cute, full of spirit young boy Adam in a minute, but the only thing I really cared about is that Snake is supposed to be a better skater than even Adam, and Adam is considered the best at S. And Snake at the very end is just like, I forfeit. You can just go skate longer now. And I'm like, what the fucking.
On
Also,
one
he has
hand,
had. Sorry, one last thing.
I
He has had the same fucking dialogue the last 3 episodes.
I do agree I do agree with that being a cop out. At the same time, did you really want the final episode having to be split between a race with Snake and Longa and then the race with Adam and Longa? Would you really enjoy that?
I personally would prefer. I personally would have preferred if there was no recap episode and this show was 13 episodes long.
Yeah, I agree that I would have preferred there to be no recap episode and for us to get a good skate between Mia and Snake and Lanka. But the recap episode already exists, so there's no point of talking about that. To answer your question directly, Gilly, I know, I hear you. I know what there's a way to do it right. But yeah, you're right. It's best to have that great climax for the whole episode, because if we're not going to get a wind down episode in the end, this is probably the best way to continue forward. It's just a shame.
And so one thing is, obviously, I could tell near the end of it, 100%, Reiki wasn't going to win. I could tell it was going to be just as close as it was. I loved how they did it though. I loved how they did
Yep.
it so much. They
And
make it like, and not just that, he's not like the best skater there, but he has his own ways.
exactly.
They played into his strength that he's had since the first episode, making boards.
Yeah,
And I
being
love
prepared
that.
and understanding skating on a fundamental level, like on a literally mechanical level.
Like I loved that so much. Like that was the absolute best way to do that.
Reiki finally found his way, because I think for the whole show we saw him like try to do what Shadow does, try to do what Joe does, try to do what Langa does, and he never did his own thing. He never was, when it comes to skating, even though he has such a passion for it at S, I feel like he didn't know who he wanted to be, who he is, not who he wanted to be. I feel like Reiki didn't understand who he is in S. And he finally, he finally played to his strengths. He finally did what he does best, and that is like understand how skating works. Ironically, better than fucking Cherry, which just insult to injury.
Couple of cute things. Cherry left Carla with Shadow, and
Did he?
the other thing was when fucking Reiki. Yeah, that was how Shadow was watching the match.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
And And then the second cute thing when Longa and Reiki were talking about the super fun magazine. I thought that was cute that like Longa was teaching him a little bit of English. Like, no, it's pronounced fun, but don't fan and fun mean the same thing? Which in
No, no.
Japanese they
I was gonna say I think if I'm remembering correctly, the thing is called skate fan, and Reiki was pronouncing it fun, and he's like, no, it's fan, like you're a fan of someone or something, and he's like, yeah, but isn't fun and fan both mean the same thing because you're enjoying something? And Langa's like, oh, proving that while Langa is the quiet boy, they're both dumbasses.
I think
Yes.
well I think fan and fun have the same meaning in the Japanese language.
Did you double check that?
I I'm pretty sure I'd have to. I can ask I can ask one of our friends that know Japanese later
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's what I was trying to do. Because when the reason I think that's what it was because Longa's voice actor started speaking in English when he was like super fan, and while Reki was still speaking in Japanese when he went skate fan.
It was funny to hear like an American or like a Canadian reading of the A instead of like a Japanese inflected A. No, it's not fun. It's fan. And I'm like, ah. I agree. That scene was adorable. That scene was so wholesome. And I really needed them to recover their friendship because just seeing them hang out, geek out, and just like be friends is such a charming. It is. That's exactly what it is. It's charming and warming.
I don't know why, but I personally just took. I personally just. I know it's not how it was, but I just sat there watching the whole thing. I'm like, ah, Reiki, you illiterate fuck. That was my immediate thought. I'm like, I know he's not, but that's what I'm feeling right now.
Does Reiki pay attention in school? Not really.
Probably not.
No.
No, he doesn't. No, he's sitting there drawing out plans for his next board while class is happening.
I still find it funny how Snake and Joe have been saying this whole time you can't make money from skating. Then there's a Mia who's joining the national skateboarding team. It's probably gonna
Oh,
make a lot of money from it.
another thing. Another thing I have to say as well, and I fucking loved this too. Oh my fucking god. When Snake shows up to give Reiki the invitation, and he just
Mm-hmm.
says that, oh, it's the guy from the Love Hotel. And then that fucking whole scene, I loved that.
Yep. I'm like, the moment this scene happened, I just went, good. This is good. This is what should have happened. Very good.
They made it so fun, but the way they both reacted, like, what the fuck are you doing, Reiki?
I also love that Longa has no
Also,
idea what a love hotel is.
Yeah, he gave the same reaction because the manager did. And he's like, wait, what is that?
okay, so actual as resident Canadian, if I didn't watch anime, I would have had the same reaction because we don't have love hotels here.
We don't technically have those in the U.S. I mean, we have roach motels that you pay by the hour, but that's not a love motel.
Okay? You don't go there for love; you go there for 10 minutes of fun.
Yeah, no. That was really good. And while I am sad to see the manager, I mean, the manager is more of a character than Snake. But while I am sad to see the manager go, that scene was really funny. The scene with little Fox kicking up the Fennec pet,
The
like
two
kicking.
fucking tech decks.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is really
I
cute.
hope this show brings back tech decks. I love those things.
Talk about a blast from the 90s and late 2000s.
The,
Early 2000s.
also, that thing is actually a dog, which is weird because they were giving it dog treats. I thought it was a cat.
They had a bag of dog food. Well, it's some kind of fox.
Yeah, I think it's a Fennec.
So that's why they had the dog food.
Foxes can eat dog food.
Oh no! I found its actual breed here. It's pronounced mascot.
Me.
I loved it though. It just like throw the food, does a flip, lands on the boards, and they're both like, oh, just this whole dumbass moment of like, oh yeah, so cool,
And
and
then
then
it
it
just.
throws them back in their face.
Also, Meep, I commend you on that delivery because the way you started that actually made me think that you're about to tell us the breed, and then you're like mascot, and then just the crushing disappointment, but also just funny.
Well, I thought that thing was going to be the mascot at first when it first showed up because it screams mascot to me.
Everyone needs a little animal mascot, sure, sure. It was just
I hope the manager's at this race, but I don't think he will be.
he's the final boss. He pulls off his face. The manager was Adam the whole time.
Speaking of mascots, did Chibi ever grow into a tree in King's Raid?
When I brought that up, I still need to watch all of it.
Fair enough.
But I am gonna binge it now that every single episode is out.
Speaking of Chibi, um, little Adam, good kid, seems like a good kid, and then everything
How the
changed when his father died.
How the fuck did he not break something jumping off that fence into that pit?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm not gonna lie. For a while in this episode, I thought Adam was actually gonna kill Reiki. I thought we were gonna have a death.
I was ready for it. I wasn't. I was only half kidding last week where I was like, Adam's gonna try to kill Reiki again. But does anyone have anything they want to say about young Adam before I switch slides to my favorites?
No.
My favorite still of this episode, Killy.
Uh, Go ahead.
Okay.
Villain nominations this season are gonna be sparse, and I don't know if
I'm
there's any
seeing it.
villains I'm super passionate about. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
I'm seeing it on screen right now, and the resolution isn't very good because there's a lot of motion happening on the screen with the rain. But just Adam, like basically Family Guy falling pose on the in the fucking mud was great.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of the stuff and build up around Adam, except for the snake plotline, is done really well. It's just Adam himself I'm sort of iffy on. I'm excited to see his fall, but at the same time,
He already
next
had
episode
his
has a
fall.
lot to juggle. Oh god damn it, Gilly.
That's your own
So
fault. You should have expected that.
yeah,
I
let's
should.
let's let's talk about the race. Um, this did not go any way no, not a single way that I expected it to, and I loved it. Reiki pulling
Yeah,
out sick tricks. Reiki going as high as Longa once he started skating his way. The tires, the rain, and Adam almost losing. Nothing I would have seen coming last week.
this race, I don't even know how to fully explain this race because it's tough for me. But personally, this is like really, it's competing in my mind for if this is my favorite one I've watched because it was very well done and just everything was fun and impressive.
I don't think I can call it my favorite race of the series, only because of those kind of, for me personally, I felt like the drolled out scenes between Adam and Reiki. Like, I thought Reiki was about to do a love hug on him, and that would be fucking incredible.
Kind
Uh
of what he did.
it's he tried. He tried. But then when Adam was just punching him in the face while Reiki was like trying to hold on to him, that was kind of lame because they were just driving down a straight path backwards, and I thought like, okay, that broke my immersion. Also, Adam was beating the shit out of Reiki, and then Reiki had like two little blood splotches, and I'm like, yeah, this show really doesn't want to do gore, which is what you were saying before me when little Adam jumped off the fucking roof into the fence onto the pool. He should have probably broken something, hands down. But this show has significantly dialed back the gore and like the pain, which is really strange because in the beginning they were very open about how you can get hurt in skating, but Adam pushed Reiki off the board so many times. He Salonge Bowsered him like twice, threw him into a tree, and like Reiki's fine. Okay.
Man, I'm surprised this show decided to do JoJo's reference and have young Adam fall onto a statue of Venus. You know, he's a bit of a short-lived character, but sacrifices have to be made.
You know what? There was a part of me that when he fell off the board and was walking in the rain, for him to go full Dio and go Ree.
I loved seeing him get so painfully flustered in that race. That was also quite fun.
I completely agree with you on that one, though. That is probably the best part of this episode, is seeing Adam's end coming up and seeing how he handles it, which, like I predicted, not fucking well.
Yeah, he handled that quite poorly. I also, I will say, I do not like the fucking dumbass name that he gave to just fucking thwacking someone with a goddamn skateboard.
They're like, this is my new technique. I named it the loving kiss or some shit like that. I'm like, that's not a
This
technique, bro. That's attempted murder.
This is the love kiss. Now take my fucking board.
Like, he's like, yes. And even they said it, that technique. I'm like, guys, that's not a technique. That's attempted murder.
It's a technique in S. It's so dumb. I did not. I have feelings about that, but whatever.
Also, we didn't talk about it for Jujutsu Kaisen, but Itadori went fast. He go fast. And Adam also go fast when he jumped off his board, ran through the trees, jumped out in front of Ricky, who's on his skateboard, and went for the fucking attempted murder slam.
Adam is Reiki's father confirmed?
The bastard. Wait, so doesn't that mean that Adam's the father of all of Riki's siblings?
That would be fucking weird. I still want to know who this marriage that he's being. I don't think we're ever gonna see them. I'm curious. The marriage that Adam is being forced into. I'm very curious.
I don't think we're going to get that either. I don't think it's
We're
important.
not, but I'm just curious. It doesn't even matter to me. I just kind of want to know.
Oh, me. Hello?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, you're back. Go on.
Wouldn't it be really cool if he was being forced into marriage with the police chief, like the red-haired lady?
Yeah, part of me like sees that, but I actually don't want that to happen because that's too hammy. It's too cliche. It's like if his marriage is announced to any of the characters we've seen thus far, whether it be Reiki's mom, Langa's mom, or the red-haired policewoman, it'll be, to me, I'll just look at the camera and be like, wah, wah, wah.
I can't believe Adam is going to be Longa's dad and his daddy.
I hated that. But yeah, as far as the marriage thing goes, I don't think it actually matters. I think the show is just putting that there to emphasize how difficult Adam's real life is, how very little control he has in his real life, how everything is forced upon him, and how he has to do everything.
When has legality stopped Adam before, Gilly?
Good question.
You were right. Silent.
Even chat is mad at you. Meep.
I'm not the one that keeps pushing this. It's the show that's pushing it. We're gonna get mad at the show for wanting Adam to be with Longa. Well, not wanting, but pushing that.
Oh, he's wanting. Oh, the show? No, the show probably doesn't want it because it's meant to be creepy and villainous. But Adam wants it.
Wants to. Remember
Adam
when you used the
sitting here
bowling
wanting to
gal?
play. Adam sitting here wanting to play a game of hide the sausage with Longa.
God damn it.
Anyway, it was great seeing everyone come together, and it actually makes me a little sad that Shadow got more in this one episode being in the hospital than he did in the last 3 episodes or last 2 episodes.
It was his little time at the hospital was pretty nice. It was interesting. Seeing him so excited watching the race, and then like one of the nurses like, "Are you okay?" and he hides under the covers. I loved that. That was nice.
Is it bad that I'm more concerned about Shadow's happily ever after and seeing him become more comfortable with himself and accepting of himself is the thing I'm most invested in this show, more so than Langa, Reiki, and Adam's love question triangle.
They've done so much with Shadow, so I can't blame you for it, honestly. They've done so much good with Shadow.
Meanwhile, I was waiting for the death of Reiki and for Longa to have his Longa's rage moment. Like Itadori versus Mahito. Wide range of shows we ended up with. We ended up with a romance, we ended up with a sports anime, and we ended up with a fucking shonen battle.
Ooh, you're roboting pretty rough.
At the end.
Say that again?
I said this is a wide array of shows we've ended up with. We ended up with a shonen battle anime, a sports anime, and a romance anime. Fucking wide array.
If you had asked me in autumn, what do you think our top 3 shows would be for this season? This is not what I would say.
I mean, as soon as I saw Skate, I knew I was gonna love it. Like, as soon as I saw its image, I'm not even talking about, like, the first episode. The premise and the image just drew me to it.
Yeah, but this is, I mean, I guess it's sport, but yeah.
It's sport shonen.
It's definitely more shonen than anything, yeah.
It's also listed as a shonen. It is a sports shonen, which has made it which I think explains how it is very well. I think that explains it very well.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what they do for the last episode because we got some really good Miwa. Joe and Cherry are side characters now. Boy, are they side characters now. Also, I'm pretty sure Adam was going to actually kill Reiki if Joe didn't step in because Adam is crazy, but he knows he can't physically take Joe.
Yeah. No, the way he was walking up, several people stood in the middle, but there was definitely bloodlust in those eyes. He was very unhappy with somebody that he deemed extremely unworthy almost beating him. I could honestly say I feel like he would be less upset if it was pretty much anyone else.
Because he went in there with the intention of breaking
Of
Reiki so Longa
hospitalizing
would get
slash
upset.
killing Reiki so that he could bring something out of Longa, and then
Exactly.
it did not go how he wanted it to go.
They even gave him the Dio vampire esque fucking scene where the thunder cracked in the background and his eyes glowed red. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this this show knows what it's doing.
He is an over the top, uncomfortable villain, and they do it very well.
There was You did bring up Longa and everyone else, which reminds me of something that I found really strange about this. For like the majority of the race, I was sitting there going like, "Yo, fuck S. S is filled with a bunch of fucking sick fucks because Longa Adam is beating the shit out of this kid. Reiki's like what, 15? And Adam's like 24, 26, and he's just beating the shit out of this kid, out of this teenager, and everyone's like, "Yeah, Adam, woo, teach that red-haired nobody who's boss, Adam." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I
I mean,
don't.
by the end, they were all cheering Reiki, at least.
That was cute. I like the yeah, go red-haired dude. Hey, he's not a redhead dude. His name is Reiki. But like, first of all, you fickle little fucks, how quickly your loyalty shifts, and B, I mean, I get it, blood for the blood god, but I don't expect S to be a coliseum of corn. I just found that very weird, and it made me uncomfortable, and I don't think it was like intentionally uncomfortable. Like how fucking zealotous everyone was for Adam. Like I get it, he's charming, he's practically a cult leader, but like people are constantly cheering people getting hurt here, and like that's not what skating's about.
Yeah, S is questionable.
It'll be cool to see it shut down next episode because that's obviously what we're getting built up with, right? With the police chief.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Is I don't know why, with how this show is, I almost expect it to be the police are gonna come to fucking raid S during Longa and Adam's race, and all of a sudden they're gonna be racing with cops chasing them.
I'm just I'm just waiting for the scene where Adam is losing his shit. The police come in, try to arrest him. He fights them and gets gunned down by the police.
That'd
I
be a very interesting way to end a villain.
I regret that joke due to the American politics, but in terms of the context of Skate, oh, and only in the context of Skate, I think that would be fucking hilarious.
That's a way to end your villain.
Shot like a dog in the street.
breaking breaking news. Adam has been gunned down outside of 7-Eleven. God no.
I got your Eve right here, motherfucker.
I almost expect him to get arrested as part of the end of this, but I'm just not sure what they're gonna do with this final episode.
At this point, I'm not even just expecting him because we kind of got that today, right? Him backed in the corner and he just starts crying and being a vicious little shit. We almost had that today, so I'm almost not expecting that anymore. I'm now expecting him to get arrested and for him to just start crying in the car,
Now
but like leaning his head back up against the seat, crying with a smile on his face, saying, "I'm finally free."
now there is one thing there is a certain feel that I got off the end of this episode that makes me that makes me uneasy for the final episode. because the way
Okay.
he was speaking about his race with Longa, it felt very
Culty?
no, very Suicide Pacty, but yes,
Yeah,
culty.
both. Yes.
Very much like this will be our final best race, and I'm just like, gonna try and kill yourself with him?
I think so. I also got that vibe.
Is this what you're doing, Adam? Is this how you're gonna try and end it?
I mean, he was willing to take Reiki off a fucking cliff, so who knows with this monster of a man.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got off the way he talked about it, and I'm so uneasy for what's gonna happen in this next episode. I am so very uneasy for what's about to happen.
It's
I
fine.
will
It's
say one
fine.
thing.
Yeah, go ahead, Meep. No, no, go ahead. Go ahead, Meep.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear us?
My Discord is being weird. Oh, hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, Meep.
Okay. What I was.
I've noticed latency with you and us. I feel like you're a second or two after us. So if you're hearing this, just count up to two, and then say everything you wanted to say. Meep might be dead.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Ah, man, it sucks. I mean, I feel for him. He's got a bad situation with his internet connection, and he's not really in a position of to do anything about it. But yeah, no. Adam is ready to take Reiki off a fucking cliff. Next time him and Longa are on that cliff and they're doing a little dance. I forgot what it's called in tango when you take your partner and you bow them down all the way. Like you know what I mean, right? When you like knock them back.
Oh,
Alright.
I thought you were gonna make this a joke about. I thought you were gonna make a joke, some kind of joke of that thing where you a slam, where you just body slam your dancing partner.
No, actually.
Alright. Sorry about that. I am back.
Welcome.
All I was gonna say was that I'm not feeling too much tension.
And like that, he died.
He comes back just to die again.
You think I need you guys to know I'm not feeling too
For
much
next
tension.
time, because
Oh, you're back.
okay, what I was saying is that I'm not feeling too much tension for the Longa versus Adam race because we've already seen Longa do very well against Adam, and Longa has still been improving even more so. We've now seen Reiki almost beat Adam. It's the whole thing of like in the Star Wars. Wait, no, I shouldn't use those in case people be spoiled about that. It's the whole thing of seeing a villain get beat by almost getting beat over and over. The next fight with them isn't going to have much tension, and while we haven't seen Adam be beat yet, someone who Longa is. Would we say that Longa is better than Reiki at this point?
In terms of skating, for sure.
Yeah. At, at this point, seeing Reiki go toe to toe against Adam, it's the whole thing of like, oh, you see Piccolo go toe to toe against Frieza, and now Goku comes in. I don't know. I'm not feeling a whole lot of tension for the next race.
The thing is, though, Adam lost because he got. Adam's weakness is not, he's an incredible skater, but his weakness are his nerves. When he is feeling confident and in control, he literally dances on his skateboard. But the moment he got unnerved that this kid who he meant to humiliate and potentially destroy, we joke kill, but like definitely hospitalize, uh, was winning and undermining him, and he's slipping both literally and figuratively he choked and he got fucked over because he doesn't experience this. So if him and Reiki were to race again, I'm pretty sure he could destroy him on a race anytime when Adam is skating for Rio because he's faced.
But we've also already seen Longa go toe to toe against Adam and almost win. So that's
That's because
also
Adam's
part of it.
constantly fucking around. Don't forget that the love hug makes him go uphill, as in backwards.
Yeah, and Longa
Is he roboting for you as well, Gilly?
the log hug already. Remember, we had the whole scene of Longa. I said he already beat the log hug. Remember, we had the scene of Longa as an angel.
Yes, yes, it was I think that's still my favorite skate moment, is just fucking Lanka with God rays behind him. Yeah, we heard you.
I know, I was just gonna say, before my internet decides to fully kill me, are we ready for cards?
Sure. But just to reiterate, I'm actually super down with just seeing Lanka and Adam in their own unique ways actually fucking race. And for Lanka to survive the love kiss.
You know, the last thing I gotta say, all of Miwa's tears in this episode was so good.
I think I forgot to mention it, but I straight up like teared up and choked up during Nobara's fight scenes because it was just so fucking awesome. But in this one, it was just really good too. I think you might have had a stronger feeling on this episode than I did, but still, I'm very curious to see what the actual grand finale will be.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I'm fucking this episode. It's a good episode. There's a number of things that this show has done that I personally don't enjoy, but it was nice to see the characters kind of get pulled back, even though Joe and Sakura, they're even drawn with less attention in this episode. Oh boy, are they side characters now. But it was great. It was great seeing Reiki return to form, return to S, and just be awesome and be his own guy again. Like, we joked that he has massive protagonist energy when we first started watching the show, but like we needed that. We needed Reiki's, you know, upbeat skating is so fun. It's just I love skating. I love skating and I'm gonna skate and have fun. And if I win, awesome. Like I miss this. So good time. Still fucking this episode.
If you had to rate the show out of 10, what would you put it at?
This episode or the show?
This show in general.
I'd give it like an 8, 7.8.
I'm gonna fuck this episode too. It's brought itself from a 7.5 to a 7 with me because it felt like the snake plotline added up to nothing and kind of took away the thunder from Mia already. There are just a few things the show's done so far that I haven't enjoyed, especially with the unceremonious way they took Shadow out of the tournament. Shadow was robbed, just straight up. But I'm still enjoying it so far. It's at a 7. It's when a show gets to like a 6 or a 5.5 for me when I tend to cut them. So Skate isn't near that right now. It's at a strong 7. And I'm gonna fuck this episode.
I mean, I'm gonna fuck this episode. I still love this show. Um, I didn't actually bring it up, but uh, taking taking like the little footholds the off of the skateboard was I it felt so emotional to me, and I really liked that.
Hmm?
Along his little foot grips that were to keep his feet on the board.
Oh yeah.
their whole conversation about removing those, and they have been kind of like training wheels this whole time. Do you think you're ready to take them off?
I
I'd love that.
I loved it for its like symbolism and like the you know what I mean. Basically, like the emotional view. At the same time, there's no way Longa will be able to hang 10 as much as he did when he turned into an angel or in his first race without those like little clips.
That actually might be how he's sort of nerfed in the next race. But guys,
It will only make him stronger.
that's another trifecta on the board. I forgot to say it too when Jujutsu happened. Jujutsu survived not a single knife, and so far no knives for Escape the Infinity or Horimiya. But for now, let's move on to Horimiya, episode 12.
Did
Toru and
Jujutsu never?
Yoshikawa hang out. What?
Sorry, did Jujutsu never get a single knife this whole season?
It has not. I think the closest thing it had to a knife was you two were feeling very trepidatious. The episode Hanami showed up, and the episode after that.
Okay, interesting. Good for
The
it.
closest it ever got to a knife. But yeah, Toru and Yoshikawa in Horimiya episode 12 hang out at his place while everyone gets ready for Christmas. Remy and President spend it together. Green haired boy spends it with his sister, and everyone else is together except Miyamura and Hori as he is busy. But he sees her and asks her to marry him. They then spend New Year's together.
Man, you did not do that scene justice. With what?
There was so much in this episode. What do you want from me?
First off,
I can turn in a fucking essay, but that's not really a synopsis, is it?
First off, fair. But first off, congratulations to Horimiya for being a slice of life romance comedy that just did not sail the Christmas ship to hell and back. Like, yes, it's Christmas, but it's still about the characters and what they're doing.
Still can't get over the fact that still can't get over the whole fried chicken that I see in like every single Christmas of most anime like this. There's always fried chicken.
KFC hit it big. I mean, again, karage is a traditional dish, but like KFC is like struck platinum.
Sweats at Adachi Toshimamura.
We don't speak of that here.
We like that show, Keely. So, Hori's dad continues to be a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, but her little brother joined in on it this time.
That was fine.
Okay.
No, he was literally
that is
panting.
wanting your son-in-law to spend Christmas with you. You're reading into that way too much.
He is literally drooling and panting at the door when he's like, "Come here, more." He's like, it's a joke. I get it's a joke. I don't find it funny.
It's because they ran to the door when he was probably sitting down all day. He's out of shape. You're reading into this way too much. He wants his son-in-law to spend Christmas at their place. What I don't get is why their family hates him, yet let him stay there. If they hate him, then kick him out.
Who's the little redhead girl?
It's Sota's little friend from that one previous episode.
I don't remember her.
It was very brief.
Fair enough. She's very cute and very quiet and timid. She's just like getting caught up in Dad's and Soda's excitement.
He was just so confused. Like, huh? What's happening? I also loved how like the whole thing with it's not like I'm that upset that he can't make it, and Hori's mom is like, we're all upset about it. And you just see that that text pop up that says "Our Miyamura."
Miyamura is everyone's.
I loved that.
Everyone's Miyamura.
That
I don't
was
know why,
so
but
good.
crazy, noisy, bizarre town started playing in my head just now when we were talking about it.
I just this the thing that I love the most about this specific episode
Oh,
was the entire episode had such a heavy focus on all of the relationships we've been seeing.
Hmm.
And
I think
I loved it. I loved seeing all the relationships. I loved seeing like where they are and how they are. It's just really nice.
do you guys think that the reason why Kyosuke wants to see Mimura so bad is because Mimura is the only one in his family that likes him?
no, Miyamura doesn't like him all that much either.
Okay, he's the only one that doesn't treat him like shit.
I don't think everyone treats him like shit, Meep. I think you found this
Like,
I
his
like
think
wife
that's
was literally saying there going, "Yeah, this is why I hate you." The, fucking, as someone that lives in a family that kind of has that dynamic, that shit's fucking brutal.
there we go. I was gonna say, Meep. I feel like you're either projecting or you've created your own headcanon for Kyosuke.
Try, try living in a family where you have people constantly point out what they hate about you. That
My point
that shit.
is, he's also a shit. So I feel like this family's very give and take.
I mean, he's only been a shit with Miyamura. Have we seen him do any like he teases his daughter, but fucking that happens in every family.
What is being a shit? I will say this: I didn't
Well,
expect Kyosuke to stay a part of the show as much as he did.
oh, sorry.
I
happy
ex-
he has.
sure. I just expected him to leave, like, to be an occasional character. He has stayed on screen for far longer than I expected. Because it was
Well,
implied that he travels for work.
well, he showed when they introduced him and then they just kept him around, which I enjoyed. Like we talked about this before. I think they don't really do many throwaway characters in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Once
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
shows up, they tend to be recurring, even if it's infrequent. I mean, Hori's mother is probably the closest thing to a throwaway because she doesn't show up that often, yet she still pops up. She's less frequent than the father, who they refer to as a deadbeat, which I find hilarious. He's the deadbeat, and yet she shows up less.
And she's always at work.
Yeah,
Also,
I'm now realizing that Hori's mom and dad are, like, in my opinion, the weakest characters on the show.
I think the whole thing with Kyosuke is that while the mother is working and making consistent money, he goes out, works for long, brings back a lot of money, but then ends up sitting while waiting for work.
Yeah,
Like, I think he brings back large chunks of money home, and while his mother brings back less but consistent.
hmm, could be.
Because that's kind of what my dad does. He works for long periods of time, like 12-hour days, and he'll often go out to camp where he's gone for like a month, but he'll bring back a lot of money. But then for
Robot.
like
Oh boy.
4 or 5 months, he's waiting on more work. So that's just how oil field is, especially in winter. No, when did I start cutting out at?
I think we got what you're trying to say. It's just you have whole sentences where you're just like that, and it's bad.
I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting here, just like I just wonder what Kyosuke is. The first thing that pops into my mind is he's a freelance graphic designer. I'm like, ooh, that hurts. That hurts to
Wait,
say.
but if he's a graphic designer, why would he be Why would he be traveling?
Well, you have to go and talk to people and sell the product they're wanting you to make.
I guess. What if he's a hitman?
That's part of the job.
Just.
I
Also,
don't think he'd be a very good hitman.
we learned this episode that green-haired girl is a Buddhist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was fun. That was nice. That was a nice little detail. Like, I'm alone every Christmas because I'm a Buddhist.
She
Like, hey,
goes
whatever.
celebrate. Yeah, like Gilly said earlier, ish. This episode does a lot with. I mean, this show does a lot with. It is a show of characters. That's all it is, and I love it for that. And it does a lot with all the relationship that's set up. And this is what, the second to last episode, right?
Yep.
So, you know, Christmas, New Year's, great time to highlight everyone's relationships. And, you know, we have. They keep. So, Green Boy, right? Shun. Shu. Shu or Shun? Shen? Shen. Shen. They keep. At school, he acts like a dumbass, but, like, with his sister, he's actually pretty smart, right? Or is he just responsible at home?
I think he just leaves all of his dumbass energy at school so that he's not being a bad influence for his sister, because they live with their grandparents, from what we know, or at least their grandfather.
Hmm. The poor girl. Sorry, I took a piece of chocolate. The poor girl is still trying to study so hard.
Yeah, she is. Now, I want to get into something. Let's talk about the would she be considered a maid, the helper around Toru's house, who
Toru's
apparently has a
rich.
lot of money. Yeah, he's rich. That's a whole nother thing. I was getting specifically on this woman that seems to be, they refer to her as a helper, but I assume she's basically a maid.
I couldn't tell
Interesting
because she's
character.
very lippy to the point where, like, I
Yeah.
believed Toru when he's like, "Oh, that's my mom's friend. She hangs around the house." But
I
she
was
also.
gonna say,
Go ahead, go ahead.
I think she's someone that lives there, like probably rents a room or stays there and helps around the house.
Yeah, because she
So
did
like
say she's
maybe
going to go get stuff for that they need for the house. So it's, I don't know. It's a weird relationship.
I'm I'm thinking she started out as a maid, but over time just got to be friends with them and moved in.
Yeah, yeah, could be.
I was hoping.
My mom was good friends with one of our previous maids.
I was honestly hoping he was Toru's mother. Only because as soon as I saw her, I thought she was, and when she wasn't, I was kind of disappointed
I think,
because now the MILF comments can't happen.
yeah, I think the jokes was that she's like looks younger, too young to be his mother, and also does not look like him because she's tall. She's very tall.
I mean, the MILF comments can still have. Wait, I should make that joke. Toru was 16. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
I
Speaking
was
of
just going to
Toru,
say, I think MILF comments can still happen. It's just Toru would be a bit more involved, but no. I won't continue that line of thought.
no, no, Meep, no. But
I mean,
I'm glad you're realizing
they could
yourself
be.
now. You're catching it.
Aren't they seniors in high school? Or are
They
they
have
sophomore?
no. They're sophomores. They have one more year.
Ah, okay.
That's where the whole gravity with Hori being like, one more year and then I graduate, and then her being like, Miyamura, I want to be with you even after we graduate, and all the romance is high, and he just screams and proposes at her. He doesn't scream. It's not like he just walks up and goes, ah, No, but he just like lets out a whole like, I want us to get married, and they
Some
practically become engaged at this point. Which, huh?
Look, sometimes the best way to propose is via
Hori, just be happy that Toriyama isn't writing your character, or else you'd, or else you'd be relegated to a background character after an arc.
No, it's fine. She can fight because she likes getting beat up.
No, no,
Yeah.
Dal, you don't understand the curse of being a. You don't understand the curse
I'm
of being a
aware.
woman in a Toriyama manga.
I'm aware. I know what happened to Videl.
That will never make sense to me. What happened to Videl?
Look, Videl was only the most recent casualty of many.
You're right. Her mother-in-law was the first. Looking Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi, Bulma.
Bulma was.
Yeah, but she was more involved.
Yes, but usually ended up being the damsel in distress. The loud, sassy damsel in distress, but still the damsel in distress. Even in Namek.
Yeah, but Bulma was
Yeah,
still
she
an
she was still
inventor and did things.
she was a character. She was involved, and she got relegated to a background character that sometimes has the solution pulled out of her ass.
She did get a lot more in Super, though. I do like what they did to Bulma in Super.
I the most of Dragon Ball I remember is from the abridged series, and I liked abridged Bulma, but I don't believe that Dragon Ball is on the FMK. Fuck it. Who
It
cares?
isn't.
Yeah,
It might
Dragon
be
Ball.
someday.
Dragon Ball Abridged did Bulma way better.
I'm just struggling to find things to say about this episode, personally.
What? You got all the characters, Meep. All of them.
We did. I just don't know what else to say about it other than that happens.
Okay, so how did you guys feel about Miyamura and Hori proposing to each other?
I think
Adorable.
their relationship might be going a bit quicker, but power to them.
Yeah, when that happened, I thought they were going to like laugh and have a cute kiss and be like, I look forward to like being together and one day getting married. But those two dumbasses actually started like talking as if they're gonna go through with it, and I'm like, honeys, no, you're teenagers.
I think it's common for people to get married early in Japan. I think.
It might be possible, but since I don't know, I won't make that assumption. I'm still maintain that, guys, you're teenagers.
They know what they want. Maybe. Who knows?
I do think they're cute together, though. Otherwise, we wouldn't be watching the show.
Listen, if Hori said she wanted a baby, then I feel like this would be a different conversation. Also, I looked it
That's
up.
the
The
finale.
common
It's
age.
okay.
That's for the finale. Is that what you said, Gilly?
Yes.
They pull a fast one on all of us, and they just do the pregnancy test meme.
God damn it. Also, I looked it up. Common age in Japan to get married is 19. Although what this is saying is that this is likely because not many people in Japan end up ever getting married. So those results are skewed.
Huh. Interesting. Well, let's hope that the season finale doesn't end. I mean, honestly, if it ends with like a pregnancy with like them, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, kind of starting a family together, that'd actually be a really nice finale if we're not getting a season 2. Otherwise, you're teenagers. No marriage. No babies.
I'm pretty sure the only way we can get a season 2 is if they make a direct to anime adaptation like season, and I don't know if I want that.
You mean like anime original?
Yeah, like not adapted kind of thing.
I see.
I don't think I want that.
No, fair enough, fair enough. So, Yeah, I mean, I
So
wasn't expecting it. I think it's sweet. I thought I came up a little strong, but the New Year's scene was really cute. And then there's all the other characters, which, while I've come around on Remy since her first debut, she has the best faces, as I am going to post onto the stream right now.
she is such a gremlin.
Such a fucking gremlin. She is such a fucking gremlin. Look at that face. Look at that fucking face.
Like I don't have the stream open, but I don't need to see it to know what it could be.
Well, yeah, if you look into the screen caps on our private server for the organization, like for the FMK, you'll see the still I used for her. It's when she's like, "Are you coming over to my place for Christmas?" And she's like, "You want to come over to mine?" And then she's just, "Do you want to come over my place for Christmas?" And he's like, "No." And then she just starts ugly crying.
I feel so bad for Remy. She just wants to love her boyfriend, and he's
She
scared
just
of the mantis.
she she lo- she just wants to hang out in her room, and I thought it was gonna go a very different route when he was like so terrified, but no, it's the bugs.
I thought she was like, yeah. What did you think? Did you think she was like super fucking messy?
No, I thought she was. I actually thought that maybe he was scared because maybe she's over sexual with him, but no, no, it's bugs.
Oh my god, just the idea, like, I don't want to come over. Remy's too horny.
Whenever we get alone, it just
Unlike
doesn't
Hor-
stop.
Yeah, it's like
unlike Horny and Miyamura, he,
every time I come over Remy's place, she tries to put my pee pee in her mouth, and it's strange. It makes me feel weird. Help me, Miyamura.
Oh, God.
unlike Horny and Miyamura, he's the bottom.
I feel like Miyamura and like
I
I
think
feel
I
like
think they're both switches
that's the thing. I don't think they're switched it. Well, actually, no, they might.
because because she has a dominant personality most of the time, but she also likes to be. Yeah,
I know, but like I don't think they're honest switches. Like Hori is generally a dom and Miyamura is generally a sub, but like I feel like when they together, they become the cat bread phenomena where it's just a permanent spiral that can just create infinite energy. Like they never land on the ground. They will constantly be in the vortex spinning on the
the
spectrum.
perpetual motion.
There we go. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Perpetual, in constant perpetual motion with each other.
Uh, and then even though it was super brief, but seeing Shindo with his girlfriend who's a little older than him and it's graduating before he is,
Is that what was happening?
or yeah,
I thought he's getting left back because he's not very good in grades.
I know he has trouble with grades, but if I remember correctly, it was brought up that she is a bit older than him.
Ah, okay. I forgot that detail. Also, I forgot who the
Well,
fuck she was at first.
he was he was held back a year, because that was the whole thing with him and Miyamura. Because Miyamura even said in the episode, "Shut up! This Joker was left back a year."
Ah, Miyamura, you're being a bully. You should know better.
Miyamura was bullied in middle school, then he started bullying his friends. Oh no, Miyamura shouldn't be allowed to have power.
The unfortunate thing is that that does tend to happen sometimes. The people who are bullied, once they kind of reestablish themselves in the social circle, they start doing what was done to them. They start doing to others what was done to them, and uh, it's not a good thing. But yes, Gilly, I
It's
agree.
not.
That was a good scene. I completely forgot
It
who she
was it
was.
it was so yeah, it's his girlfriend. It was such a brief scene, and yet it was so nice.
I think the only other time we saw her was when she would hang off Mimura's arm, and Hori got mad that he knew her name and not her, or he used her first name and not hers.
That was a
Back
cute scene.
with Was that you that was like saying you didn't like how physical Hori is with Mimura?
Saying what?
I said, was that you that wasn't liking how physical Hori was with Mimura?
I am the one who thinks that Hori is a little too physically aggressive with Miyamura, yes.
Hmm. Yeah, because I remember back when that first happened.
You say that, my mind immediately. I just go back to
Because she.
I just go back to that episode where she wants him to get more physical with her, and she walks out of the shop. It's just like, what took you slap? What took you so long? I still love that. I wish. I bet there's a gif of that somewhere. I need to find it.
I'm back, Miyamura. Slap. What took you so long? Grabs her hand. Let's go. Again, for those of you who are just joining us on this series, you're crazy for coming in at the end of the season, but we love you and appreciate you being here anyway. Hori has a degradation kink, openly, and likes being rough handled and talked down to, like as if her partner was in the Yakuza or something.
I wonder if Mimura ever cleared up with his green-haired friend that he's not actually abusive.
He doesn't matter.
He and the green-haired friends cuddle, so you know.
Oh, him. Also, his brother's who doesn't get to have a face. He did not get to have a face, but his brother is kind of a douchebag. He's kind of a dick. He's like that kind of older brother, like the American older brother, like you would see in like 90s and 2000s movies.
Can't believe his brother is Roger from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. You are right to remain silent.
Uh-huh.
If you don't acknowledge it, it doesn't exist.
Remy's dad likes to collect insects, and what was his name? Son Goku?
Definitely not Son Goku.
It's close to Son Goku, I remember that.
I don't remember.
Oh well, regardless. And then there's really only one other relationship to talk about, right?
Yes. We have we have the little budding relationship with Toru
And Yuki.
And Yuki, yes.
They're fucking both
and the
dumbasses.
fact that they're both the fact that they're both fucking idiots that like each other, but neither will say it.
I mean, it's a common trope because it's a common thought in high school, right? Where it's like, I like this person, but I like our friendship, and I don't want things to get weird. I don't want to ruin it. And they both feel that way, but for different reasons. I just love that Toru is just like sitting. First of all, one of my favorite scenes in all of Horimiya was when they're sitting in the fucking restaurant and they're just going back and forth, especially the
Yes, I love that scene.
So good. And they even they were self-aware that it was hard to fucking follow. They knew the joke they were making because fucking they had Shun being like, what? Who? What? You know that we know that
I know you were thinking that I was thinking that I was thinking. And he's like, no, Ishikawa, stop. You're going to break him with all the thinking.
You're going to give him an aneurysm, and I'm like, wow, they made that joke.
Sorry about that. Someone unplugged the Wi-Fi extender this time.
Wonderful. Well, you sound better now, so welcome back.
Okay. What I before my internet started doing the big die, I asked if we were ready for cards.
Oh, we didn't even hear that. We are talking about Yuki and Toru and how they're both dumbasses, and that incredible scene in the McDonald's with Toru, Red Boy, and Green Boy, Sengoku.
You know how I had a crush on Hori? You did?
No, they were confused because they thought he was saying he still does.
I love their whole thing about they're both confused. Like how can you be so fucking open about how you feel here?
You saw that one dude in the background turned around and looked at Toru and was just like smiling at him, like, "Yeah, you go for it, bro."
How friendship formed.
No, he doesn't have colored hair, so he's not a main character. You couldn't see me, but I waggled my wrist. But yeah, they're both fucking dumbasses, and they're both so stupid and insecure and blinded by their own insecurities. But I'm rooting for them. I really want Sakura to just have someone, because not because she's just lonely and she needs someone, but because like she deserves it. Like she is a good person, and her and Toru would have also been a good couple, but since the show didn't go that way, I am stuck at looking at Toru and Yuki, and I'm rooting for them, man. God, they're both like, they both like each other. I think they both love each other. They're both horny for each other, but none of them know how to fucking do it.
And now the show is pushing Blind Man and Yuki's older sister.
No, no, I really hope the show is not. She continues to
Why
suck.
don't you want people to be happy?
Because she sucks. She's talking shit about her sister even behind her back.
Eh?
Welcome back. Where did I come
Her, her and Yuki seem to have a mixed relationship. It's. I'm fairly certain there's more to it than just the surface level thing she says. Because we know that Yuki makes these mistakes. Like, I'm I'm fairly certain there's a bit more underlying emotion as to why her sister's like that. Because people, in most cases, don't just act like that. There's usually something that has caused it.
Yeah.
And while it's still excusable, I don't want to try to understand it without knowing the full context.
Hey, you know what? Fair. Uh, fair enough. Uh, that is the right attitude to have toward these things, especially when dealing with a real life situation and a real life dynamic. Don't jump to assumptions. Like you said, there's usually reasons why they would be this way. That being said, man, in terms of the show, because the show hasn't explained anything to us, and what the show has shown us of Yuki's sister, fucking, I don't like her. I don't like her. She sucks. She's rude.
Now
She's mean.
I'm just imagining the situation with the hair clip, but it's with boyfriends. No, I want to date him. I want to date him. Fine, fine, you can have him. I don't care.
God damn it. You can't see me, but like I sucked in my lips and like I pursed my lips and went,
you, the show says she has trouble saying when she wants something.
She really had trouble telling Toru she wanted him then.
No, we can't get you a hair clip. We left. No, we can't get you a boyfriend. You're in college now. I hope Sakura is happy with someone.
Yeah.
She deserves.
Exactly. She deserves love too. Not even two. She deserves loves. She's. I can't get over fucking Remy ugly crying face, because she's like half angry. Her eyebrows are so angry, but her face is so sad.
She is honestly, the more I see of Remy, the more she grows on me like a fungus.
Yeah, Fair enough. Like a little gremlin fungus. She's cute. I admit she is cute. I would not be able to date her because her she would make me want to hit my head against the wall. But like she's nowhere near as bad of a person as I thought she was in the beginning. They have done two times. They've done things to make her a much more rounded out and understandable character, and she is at worst, at least, the fun gremlin of the group.
That is exactly what she is, the fucking fun gremlin.
Gilly, is that picture you posted what you imagine? Is that what you imagine, like, Remy to be whenever she's overly sexual with red-haired boy?
That's what I thought. That's honestly where I thought that was going. I really did think it was just gonna be like, oh, every time I go over, she grabs my dick.
I really thought that she was going to be like just super messy and disorganized. Like her room's just like gross. I like how it went though. I like how it went.
Too.
Hmm?
It's just
Hmm.
bugs.
Bugs. I used to have that as a kid. I found it fascinating. Got less into it once I acknowledged insects as living creatures, living feeling creatures. But I would have be fascinated to be in that room, and also just the fact that it's not hers, it's her father's. So I guess I'm hanging out with her dad.
This Papa.
Hello, Papa.
Papa, your bugs scare my boyfriend.
Please put away your insects. The plague scares the boyfriend.
I don't have anything else to specifically talk about. What about you two?
I think.
Kyosuke. Yeah, go ahead, Gilly.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Kyosuke is very good at math, apparently, and we can use that to create fan theories about what he does for a living.
He's
He's a
able to count the amount of people he has to kill.
he's a rogue mathematician.
Oh, fuck.
Hitman still applies, because if he's able to calculate or program the sniper assistant, the virtual sniper assistant.
I accidentally posted our vote. I accidentally posted our votes, but I feel like this is going to be accurate anyways.
It's probably. Let me see what she put. All right, Meep. Gosh, fine. We'll get to cards.
No, that was me. That was me. That was me pressing the slip of a button. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. This is a good episode, but we're already like on 2 hours, and honestly, this week was full of really strong episodes. But like we can get to cards. I think if we keep talking, we're just going to be talking about every single little thing.
Yeah.
I'll go first. I'm fucking this show. Horimiya continues to excel at doing characters and character interactions. Nothing really felt inorganic. I feel like Orange Boy, what's his name?
We can't say Orange Boy. This isn't Code Geass.
Shindo.
Orange, you say?
His
That is
middle
the
school
color
friend
of
is
my
Shindo.
loyalty. Shindo, right? Shindo's scene was, I feel like, the shortest, which sucks because I actually really enjoy Shindo. I wanted to see more of the character, and his whole scene itself was much bleaker than everyone else's. They were just sitting on a bus stop together in the dark.
It was bleak, but it had that little. I really liked it because it had that like nice little glimmer of hope, though.
I like your optimism when it comes to their relationship. I'm going to go along with I'm going on your train with this. I'm boarding your train of thought with this because that just feels nicer. Because I was sitting there, I'm like, oh, they're having troubles. Shindo's getting left back. Oh, he's not. He's really upset, and he's not communicating well with her. But I did really appreciate her just like leaning, because I think she also was a little bit like unsure. But he's just like, he just owned up to it and just like, wait for me, okay? Can you just wait one more year? And he didn't even make eye contact because he's obviously like upset about it. But she just plopped on his shoulder and was
And
like, yeah,
her little smile with that.
yeah, yeah.
That she doesn't just saying she doesn't mind waiting. She's just happy that he he asked.
Yeah, exactly. And that was so cute. Because sometimes you just gotta be vulnerable with the people who are close to you. You just gotta. That's how you learn who to keep in life and who not to keep in life. I know we said we're moving on to cards, but I just realized there was something I was gonna bring up and forgot to. We saw ex stalker girl, and she got a little cake for someone. And when I saw it, I'm like, please don't go to Hori's house and like give her a cake because you see Miyamura working. And I feel like they really retconned her character, or at least really stepped away from her like obnoxious stalkerisms. I think maybe she got a date with someone else and she went to buy a little cake, or maybe she's hanging out with her mom. Everyone was mentioned.
From what I understand, because I actually got confused about this scene too. I haven't read the manga, but I asked someone about it, and they were saying that it was something she used to do with her brother every Christmas. They would go get a cake.
Oh no, that's sad.
The anime didn't explain it, so that's why I was really confused.
There are people screaming in Chinese outside my window. I apologize to our listeners and viewers if my mic is picking that up, but I that's really sad. I mean, her facial expression was not of grief, but of like, she looked happy. She looked like she was going to have a good evening. But that's sad.
Goes to her brother's grave, and what reads on the grave
No.
what reads on the grave is Junpei.
Meep, no. Okay, so that's
No.
doubly sad for me because of 999. But no, Meep, my heart.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Thinking about it, he kind of looks like her. That's why I make the joke.
No, I'm done with this. Anyway, big eggplant for Horimiya. Great scene. I think they're rushing into marriage. I want to see them flesh it out. I appreciated the New Year's Day and New Year's Eve scene. The after credits scenes was really nice. I like how I agree with their decision to like split it up, so it's not Christmas and boom New Year's, but Christmas credits, New Year's, and they're a cute couple. Were they with Miyamura's parents? I'm not sure. Point is, I'm very interested to see how what they're going to do for the finale, because this felt like a finale in many ways.
Yeah, so obviously I'm gonna fuck this, but yeah, that is one of the slight worries for me because this was so good and this felt like a finale, and we still have the actual finale, and I can't fight the feeling of worry that like what's going to happen in the actual finale. Is it gonna be good? Is it
I think
gonna
it might
just
be their
feel?
graduation.
Is it just gonna fall flat in comparison to the second to last episode? Because that will make me sad.
Oh my god, what would happen, Gilly, if if we knife it next week, if it just falls flat?
I'm not gonna knife it, but I'm gonna be sad if it doesn't like at least match up to this.
If you
It
night
doesn't even
next
need
week,
it. It doesn't even need to be better. It just needs to match up.
Has there even been a bad episode of Horimiya? I know there was like last week we had those weird screen transitions, which I'm so glad are not returning this week.
Well, you both were very iffy with the kind of stalker girl when
yeah,
Yeah.
she
that
first
episode
appeared.
we didn't enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely the weakest.
Other than that, see, Del, what's gonna happen if you knife it next week? You're gonna be really sad, and you're gonna probably marry a different. Oh wait, no, you're. Why do I keep saying that? Wonder Again's the same time our shows end.
Yeah,
Never mind.
because Wonder
I
Egg
entirely.
had that recap episode for, I think, for episode 8. Rux Rux and chat trying to break my heart. Yeah, Gilly, did you hold up your card?
Yeah, I'm gonna
I,
fuck the
I,
show.
Excellent.
I I am also gonna fuck this show. I've been really enjoying it. I'm excited to see what comes out of the finale. The show is a strong 8 for me right now
Nah, the show's
because
like.
I didn't. Oops, sorry.
Oh, sorry, sorry, go ahead.
Actually, I'd put it at more of an 8.5.
Yeah,
Like
me
it's
too.
really light and fluffy. I really enjoy it. Like my order of ranking for the show is Skate at a 7 currently, Horimiya at an 8.5, or maybe even a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9, and then Jujutsu at 10 out of 10 for me. That's my current ranking. But hey, you never know. Maybe the finale will bring Horimiya up to an 11. Maybe the finale of Skate will bring it to a 2.
How dare you speak this way about Skate?
Listen, I've been the most like critical of Skate, I think. So
Oh,
makes
dare.
sense. Geez, you weren't even this defensive about Kuma Bear. But with that, everyone, I believe that was all the shows this week. Is there any graveyard tour that we would like to do, or would we like to just sign off?
Um, uh, we're going to be doing the retrospective next week, so y'all can expect me to talk about at least Wonder Egg Priority in its entirety. I have nothing to say. I was only able to get one episode in, and it was a recap. It was a skippable recap. It's nice to. I think the show. Part of me is upset that there's a recap because that means we're getting less content, but the other part of me thinks that it's good to get a recap because this show has a lot go into every episode, and it was actually kind of nice looking back and seeing from where they came. Either way, Skate did their recap better, and yeah, it's honestly skippable. I would say it's from the perspective of the two dolls, the two spirits, but they're just talking about it in a very casual, laissez-faire way, and we don't even get any like new content. Like they don't reveal anything that was confusing or like that was like cryptic. It's just eh.
Hmm.
That's it. That's all I have to report. I'm gonna try to catch up on Jobless just to see where the anime goes and what
I've
does
been
the rest of the
seeing
season look like.
I have been seeing weird screenshots from recent episodes of Jobless pop up and weird things recommended to me from like IGN for Jobless, and I
Mm,
kind of want to know what the fuck is going on.
weird as in creeper or weird as in just what the fuck?
Uh, The 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 thumbnail for a video that IGN recommended to me of Jobless, I think it was for a dubbed episode, just showed. I think it was called like I'm pretty sure there was the word princess in in the title, and it showed this weird monster trying to eat someone flying past it. I don't know what the fuck is
Oh,
going on, and I'm confused and interested, but I don't really want to watch the fucking show. Um,
oh. I don't remember there being monsters, but fuck it. I guess we'll see where it goes. I'm just afraid if they have monsters, they'll just make the monster molesty too. But we'll just see where it goes.
Also, I want to say something that I've said to you two in the general chat, but I want everyone listening to understand this. I keep seeing Redo the Healer on hentai sites, and that
Yep.
is concerning to me. That's an
I know
anime that I
someone who
keep seeing on hentai sites.
I I'm gonna take a moment to just pat myself on the back. I don't do this often. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's important to be able to do this once in a while. I remember seeing the Redo Healer when we were selecting our shows for the winter season, and I looked at it and I read what it
You
was.
thought about fucking locking it? I remember this being a conversation.
What? No, heavens no. I said that's reverse locked. I wanted that to be off our like selection period because there was just something about it. The way it was drawn, the way it was described, and I'm just like, this is gonna be revenge porn. This isn't going to be a revenge story. This is going to be revenge porn, isn't it? And damn it all if I was not right.
The way you use revenge porn continues to confuse me because the way, at least the context I know what revenge porn is it's when you have nudes or like a video of you and an ex having sex, and to get back at them, you post it online.
That's also horrible. That's also horrible, disgusting, and a immature, pathetic breach of trust. But no, I'm talking about like revenge porn and like gory, like in that sense.
Yeah.
What's upsetting
Speaking
about
of
that
gore,
show is it has really good art.
What? Fucking
Redo the Healer has really good art.
yeah, but they use it for rape scenes, so I'm not interested.
Koi Renu handles its story with more tact.
Oh no! So I said revenge porn. I meant torture porn. There we go. That's what I meant. That's what I was trying to say. But point still, that doesn't change anything of what I said. My point stands. And yes, chat,
Well,
the
on my
concern is warranted. Sorry, yes, chat, the concern is warranted. Redo Healer is not. Whatever. I think you've heard us talk about it. I think you guys get the drift.
well, on my end, Kimono Jihen has officially finished. I watched it. I consider a above average to I consider a above average good shonen. But at the same time, if it's a good anime, I would say it's a decent anime. I wouldn't call it good. Good is in the realm of 7.5 to 8 for or no, good would be a 7. So I'd say Kimono Jihen is good. But yeah, I finished it. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I would not heavily recommend it to anyone. Uh, though an anime I would heavily recommend everyone. I watched Yukoku no Moriarty's second episode today or yesterday. It was really good. I can't
No
wait for you
spoilers.
two to watch it to be able to talk to you about it.
Okay. I'll try to slip that in.
Yeah, it's back to form, and I'm excited to see where it goes because I did call something from our last. Uh, was it retrospective? I think it was in a retrospective, and I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm excited for you two to see it.
I'm hoping we get to continue the show. We'll have to check in with with our other host who's coming in for the next season to see if they're willing to add it to the list. But yeah, if not, we can
He
talk
did
about it
not.
next week.
He did not. Let you know that.
Yee. Oh, we'll figure it out. So good times continuing. Not good times continuing, but the Moriartys continue being good times.
Oh yeah, it's really good, and the story they're going with is going to be a lot of fun. I am very excited. I was hoping you two would have watched its first episode so we could talk about it a little bit, but hey, that's fine. That's
Oh,
fine.
honey, I've had so little time this week. Got my first shot, so that's awesome. Arm hurts right now,
Hey,
but it's fine. It's fine. And you know what? This doesn't need this. The fact that this is political is insane. In case it needs to be said, unless you have pre-existing health concerns that would pose as an obstacle to this, please get your vaccinations when possible. No reason to bombard the healthcare system, but when you can, get the COVID vaccine. Let's end this, shall we?
Said all the people I know that are going, no, I'm not going to get it. It's too quick.
Yeah, I there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of fear mongering around it. COVID has highlighted a lot of issues in our societies, but if you can, please get it. It's for the best. Anyway, that's my
Well,
unnecessary PSA.
Gilly, do you have any words to say before we sign off?
No.
All right. And with that, I have been
Oh,
Dalaran Quest, guys. Thank you so much for catching us live. For those of you who are watching us on the YouTubes, come on down and hang out. Join our Discord. The link should be in the doobly doo. Feel free to shoot us a message, and you can catch us streaming Mondays or Tuesdays over on twitch.tv/Dalaran Quest. And you can also catch me, Dalaran, on Twitter now. Hooray! 15 years of not making a Twitter, and I finally caved. Same name, Twitter, Dalaran Quest. Come say hi. I might be posting more.
you're only 15.
What was that?
I just made the joke saying, and you're only 15.
I yeah, I wouldn't mind dialing the clock back halfway back and just giving it another go, but it is what it is. So we're gonna continue how we're going.
I have been Meep. Thank you once again to Team 4-Star for allowing us to do this. And we will see you next time.
Catch you guys next time. Thanks for everyone for coming, and thank you for the follows. We'll get you guys next time. Bye.
Adios.
Boy.